Hey guys, this is Michael here, and today we are going to talk about Smite, a new 3D MOBA here, published by Hi-Rez. And so we have
Todd Harris.
Todd Harris from Hi-Rez here to talk about Smite with us. Now, Todd, what exactly makes Smite different from all the other MOBAs that we have? League of Legends, we have Heroes of New Earth, Dota, Dota 2. What's so interesting about Smite?
Yeah, there's a lot of MOBAs out there. We try to add a little kick-ass to our version. So the big twist is the third-person camera and the movement system. So you move with WASD and mouse, more like a shooter or PvP MMO, but all the metagame concepts are similar to those other MOBA games. So you are pushing lanes, there's minions, there's towers, there's the equivalent of a Nexus, only in Smite, it's a big old Minotaur that becomes a boss fight. So it's basically mythology-themed creeps and gods and goddesses that you play, 5 versus 5, but the big difference is really visceral combat. You're not above the combat like RTS, you're right in the combat like a third-person shooter or PvP Battlegrounds.
So, as far as movement goes, it's some third person. Now, what about skills and items, other stuff that makes a MOBA really a MOBA? What have you done with it? How do those systems work in this?
Yeah, we try to keep those things pretty accessible, probably most similar to players of League of Legends. So there's an item system. We don't have a recipe system where you're combining items. It's a pretty straight upgrade system for items, but very similar items, consumables, abilities that players would expect. You progress from level 1 to 20 in a game of Smite throughout the match. Again, there's concepts like jungling and creeps. There's a big fire giant in Smite if you want to give a team buff. So all those metagame concepts are very, very similar, but of course the gods themselves and the power set is what really makes the game very different.
So are we going to see things like jungling in Smite and stuff like that, like an actual jungle route where somebody would go through and kill all the camps starting at level 1?
Yeah, jungling's definitely a mechanic. So there's camps in the jungle. You know, coming out of the jungle is very different in Smite because of the peripheral vision. I can't see you just by clicking around the map. I really have my vision limited. But yes, there's definitely a role for junglers in Smite.
And is there last hitting in this game? Last hitting or denying, I guess?
Yeah, there's not a concept of denying. There's a concept of last hitting, which does give you a slight bonus in terms of gold, but I wouldn't say it's a major mechanic. So it does affect the game, and if you're better at last hitting, you'll get a little extra gold bonus than I do, but so much of the game is focused on making sure you know where your allies are and where the enemies are, and everything in Smite is a skill shot, even the minion hitting mechanic. So last hitting is important, but we didn't want to overemphasize that, because there's so much that's just involved in the twitch player skill action of actually landing your hits on your opponent.
So we have the assassin style characters. Do we also have support, tank, all those typical ones?
Yeah, we do. On the screen up here, we did see a few of them, but there's assassins such as Kali from Indian mythology, who's very vampiric, kind of lifesteal melee sort of characters. Up there, that's Ao Kang. That's from Chinese mythology. He's more of a mage, so he's doing, kind of the glass cannon build potential. There's also tanks. Amir right here from Norse mythology is very big, bulky. He also has some crowd control abilities. So all those basic, and support you asked about, Hel is one example from Norse mythology. She can actually switch stances and do healing in her white stance, or turn to dark and actually do contagion, kind of infectious-based damage. So all those typical roles that players are used to, they can find in Smite, as well as the dimension of just what sort of mythology people like. We cover 5 different cultures or pantheons currently, so people like Greek gods or Egyptian or Indian or Norse, those sort of things. We cover 5 currently, we'll continue to grow that.
Great, great. Now, Smite is to be a free-to-play game, correct?
Yeah, free to play. We're big fans of the model that the guys at League of Legends established, and so it's fairly comparable. Any god and really anything that affects gameplay can be earned just by playing the game, but we'll have cosmetic skins, many which are actually showing off here at PAX. Those will be real money items, and if you want to unlock different gods more quickly and permanently, you'll be able to do that with microtransactions, but free to play.
That's awesome to hear. Now, we really appreciate you coming out here to show us Smite. Is there any kind of expected date where we can start looking for beta keys or any type of early access for players that really want to try Smite?
Soon.
Yeah.
We're in closed alpha right now with a small group of really high-level players of other MOBA games. They're helping us work out balance and mechanics. But we do hope that before the end of April, we will be giving out the first set of closed beta keys. So people can go to smitegame.com and apply for beta, and look forward to having them join us and help us test the game.
And hopefully soon we'll have beta keys for MMOHut as well, right?
We know we love the guys at MMOHut, so we'll definitely hook you guys up.
Well, it was a really great pleasure you having us here and getting to check out Smite, and really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks very much.
All right, later.